Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another One Piece chapter review, chapter 1076, Old Friends. I'm a bit delayed on this one. I mean, it's like luckily One Piece had a 1 week break, so I didn't end up being behind on the chapter things, but I probably missed a chance to, soak in the hype for this chapter, but nevertheless, I'm going to review it anyway. If you end up listening or watching this review, I hope you enjoy what I have to say. Whether or not you agree or disagree, comment below. Blah blah blah. Anyway, on to the chapter. But before we begin, the cover thing in which we appear to have the Straw Hats just color the Straw Hats in some sort of fashion. Really, you have Sanji walking with his cigarettes. You have like Brock's Robin, Usopp, Jimbe, Frankie looking about, and you have Nami cuddling a sleeping Chopper, upside down, if you will, and Luffy's just smiling. It just seems to be just a general Straw Hats just having fun on the sightseeing, really. I mean, honestly, it's probably the weakest colored double spread I've seen in a while, but heck. It can all be big, they all can't be winners, but heck, it's just a fun Straw Hat thing. But either way, I suppose you might enjoy it, the Sanji's being the center of it if you're a Sanji fan. But anyway, but this is the only flaw you could probably, I would say, in advance of this chapter. So on to Act 1. We follow off where Kaku and Rob Lucci offer to team up with Zoro and Luffy. And of course, Zoro's questioning, like, why would we let them go? And if we did, would you actually put them back on? Let's see. But so cannot see them putting them on again. But Kaku tries to say we'll put them back on. But Luffy is just like, okay, that's good with me. And so I was like, no, he's clearly lying. With then S Hawks attacking with a slash, but we see that it's a slash with his kick. And Zoro realizes that it's the Mr. One's dice fruit power, like, the blade fruit from Alabasta. With like as we see the green blood on his arm and all that stuff, and Kakuku telling that Zoro that, see, this is what's going to happen if you lug us around. But yeah, anyway, I do like how Zoro just completely is like, no, this is a bad idea, being completely skeptical that they would, put themselves back in handcuffs afterwards. But Luffy, of course, being completely just taking Kaku's word, just acts like, sure, no problem. I trust you, being his, like, anyways, very similar to when, like, he asked Law, will you betray us? And he said, like, no. And he was like, yeah, thumbs up. When everyone else says, I have some doubt, but yeah, but like, this is just fitting for Luffy's character. But yeah, but the main interesting thing here is to learn the fact that, which probably many were theorizing and guessing and confirming. Heck, even I was theorizing, is that S Hawk actually had Mr. One's devil fruit powers as, his body could become blades, and it's kind of like the perfect kind of weapon to give to a swords master, besides, I don't know, something else that could probably enchant swords, or at least, I don't know, give you more arms to wield swords, or, I don't know, that you can technically remove swords. That's my only other guess. But either way, but yeah. Yes, Hawk is literally become a living blade, and it kind of makes sense that they would have this devil fruit, as Mr. One was a prisoner for a while. So, there's that. So Vegapunk would probably have it for at least 2 years ago. But it is interesting to note that in this fight that Zoro has pretty much got an opponent that's a combination of all his, like, tough opponents. Really, you've got like Hawkeye, who he fought and lost to before, but will be his future opponent. King from the Lunarian thing, and Mr. One's Devil Fruit. You could also say with the kicks, depending on how you see it, the kick style might end up being based off of Kaku's kicking, but either way, Kaku's here in the fight as well, so yeah. But yeah. So, quite a lot of Zoro's tough opponents, being represented in this fight, if you will. And it does lead me to believe that, S Hawk and I believe Mr. Moji end up saying about how He believes the Saffron will be the final opponents for the Straw Hats. With all the combinations of S Hawk here, makes me tend to believe that that might actually be the case, because, well, S Hawk is clearly a combination of all of Zoro's strongest opponents. Granted, he's just not at the same level as the actual Hawkeye yet, but when he does, and fully grounds, will be in for the fight. So will be in for the fight of his life, which I probably kind of mentioned predicting as well, or to be early as well. But anyway, I do like how Kaku is also trying to say as well. Let's see, you don't really want to lug us around and all that during the fight. But anyway, but then you get I believe Shaka of the Vegapunks asking him what the ZP0's mission is and all that stuff, with Rob Lucci saying how it's to assassinate all 7 of the Vegapunks, with Kaku being annoyed at his partner for saying that let's see, not to tell them to their face directly and all that stuff, given the fact they're still prisoners, if you will. With Shaka end up asking that he intends to deal with Stussy, he tends to have payback against Stussy as well, which Rob Lucci also confirming that, yeah, she'll pay the price, with Kaku going like, for the love of, are you trying to get us not on? Are you trying to prevent us from getting handcuffed? Which clearly confirms that, yeah, Kaku was probably lying earlier. But let's see. We then hear a scream, and apparently it is Nami's, as Zoro confirms and all that stuff. Let's see. As Zoro believes that all 4 of them are raising hell and all that stuff there, and wondering how many people they got to protect on top of like all the Vegapunks. With Luffy just asking Shaku, or as he calls him, Helmet, to hand him the keys and that stuff. With Shaka saying that, okay, I'll let you make the call. Just as long as he protects like the main Stellar body, he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind leaving, let's see, the CP0 agents in Luffy's hands. But anyway, you've got like Luffy then telling like Rob Lucci and all that stuff, and Kaku saying, after the 4 of them after they've stopped all 4 of the Sephiroth from targeting his crew, them, and the Vegapunks, he warns them that these guys should not go against his friends, if you will, and the Vegapunks, just because they'll have no chance of beating Luffy and all that stuff in the fight and all that stuff. But yeah. Though Zoro says Luffy that there's no way that they're going to fall for anything like that, as bait and all that stuff. But Rob Lucci proves him wrong by saying, fine with me and all that stuff, as Luffy's the one he wants to kill right now more than anyone else. And once he has Luffy out of the picture, he can be free to kill any of the others as he wishes. But Zoro is just shocked by the fact that he just took the bait as S-Bear is about to attack with his devil fruit. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, I do like how Rob Lucci just seems to be, in many ways, seems to mirror Luffy quite a bit in this thing, being just blunt, honest in what he's actually going to do when asked by Ashaka and all that stuff. And let's see, Kaku was just like, dude, would you stop spilling the beans? You stop telling the truth. We're trying to get out of these handcuffs and all that stuff. And it's like, in many ways, it's like, you can clearly tell that these two power, Luffy and Zoro, it's like Rob Lucci being the blunt, hard, stubborn one, while Kaku being a bit of the, with Kaku's whole being the one trying to rationalize their captain, best friend, and bluntness and silly antics and all that stuff. But even though they themselves can get into trouble, as we've seen earlier with Kaku just jumping on ahead, or Zoro getting lost or picking fights, if you will. So yeah, I do like how they contrast and parallel each other here. But let's see. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if some Rob Lucci fans are like, "Oh, I missed the dark, serious one." But well, to be fair, I'm pretty certain that let's see, as Luffy is pretty much confirmed here, Rob Lucci is no longer a threat, so you get a bit more commercial side. But I do kind of like this little bit of personality with like how Rob Lucci is just so blunt with what he intends to do. Especially when Luffy ends up saying this next thing, which I do like how Luffy says like, "Okay, let's see, I can kick your butts. You stand no chance against me, so don't you dare go after my friends just because I let you go." But yeah, but I just like how Luffy's not like, well, granted, Luffy's not in your face kind of thing, but he's just calmly saying it. But yeah, but I do like the confidence Luffy has. That okay, I'm an emperor. You stand no chance against me. So let's see, don't push anything. But I do like how Zoro's reaction. Like Rob Lucci actually listened to that. But yeah, other than that, I do find it interesting how Shark ends up asking Rob Lucci like what he intends to do, really considering the options of whether or not to let him go. But he ends up with when Luffy says, "Give me the keys," he ends up trusting his judgment. Granted, depending on how, let's see, how people see it, whether or not he is the evil Vegapunk or the spy or traitor, if you will. So I'm realizing some might just say, you know what? Let's see, let Luffy play along a bit here with Luffy. But yeah, let's see, don't let Luffy just not trust me, not lose trust in me yet. But yeah, or he's just like, you know what, Luffy's or let's see, or he's not the spy traitor, and he's like, okay, Luffy, I trust your judgment and all that stuff. What Luffy says is what Luffy's probably doing would be logical, all that stuff, because Shark is also the logical one. So yeah, he's trusting the judgment there. Anyway, you've got the Esper using the Usa shock thing, his giant paw abilities, but at the same time we see the cuffs have been broken off. And you can see a large explosion in the lab and all that stuff. And Luffy, for the first time since the fight against Kaido, is using Gear 4. Granted, that's still only like about, say, probably 30 chapters ago, but still. Let's see, but no, he is apologizing to Bonnie, and you have Rob Lucci in his leopard thing. Luffy using the Kong gun, and Rob Lucci in his just regular leopard hybrid form, going Six King pistol. Well, yes, Hawk is attacking, but you have Zoro and Kaku using the protocol Onigiri, and Kaku using the Tempest Kick White Thunder. And you're gonna get like the serious stare eyes from like the two of them after that. Let's see attack. Let's see, with the both S-Hawk and S-Bear flying back, crashing into walls, and being sent flying. Okay, first off, I do like how to get a glimpse of to show just how powerful S-Bear is, he's managed to destroy the parts of the lab. But I do like the sort of combination that you have Luffy and Rob Lucci working together in one against the S-Bear, as that is probably more of a personal opponent. This is let's say as the S-Bear is more probably based on Kuma, who's more personal to Luffy, given what happened at Chub early Archipelago, and then learning the truth afterwards. Well, for Zoro and Kaku, it makes sense you go against the S-Hawk and all that stuff. Are they knocked out and defeated for the time being? Who knows? But at the very least, they've been sent flying. But the most fun bit that here, if you're a Gear 4 fan, you'll probably be excited that yes, Luffy is still using Gear 4. Many people were wondering after when Luffy was unlocking Gear 5, would he be, sticking with just only Gear 5? But no, it's clear and never use Gear 4, Gear 3, or Gear 2 again. Clearly, at the very least, Luffy's going to use Gear 4 now and then. Now, why he would do that? My guess is he doesn't want to tie himself out, with Gear 5, because it takes a lot of energy. And also, he probably doesn't want to risk the chance of being tired out and then Rob Lucci to try and attack him and all that stuff. But with Gear 4, he only really has to worry about his Haki being sort of depleted a bit, which is still a bit of a worry, but Luffy is probably confident enough in his own abilities that he can probably survive with, without Haki for 10 minutes and all that stuff. Sometimes that Luffy will use Gear 4, even if it's just for a quick punch and all that stuff. Granted, whether or not he might try and do the same with, let's see, Snake Man, we'll have yet to see. But yeah, but it is interesting that, from what I can tell, none of the, let's see, four members of none of the four of our newly formed temporary team up are arguably using their strongest forms or attacks. Granted, that might be a bit of an underestimation against the Sephram, but they have yet to reach their true peak yet, but who knows. But anyway, we cut to now inside a lab, if you will, where you got some people begging for food and all that stuff, and that they have been here for 2 months without being able to eat anything real. And it's revealed to be that you see many people wondering whether they're going to get out here or they're going to die in here. And it's revealed to be none other than the world government intelligence agents from like CP5, 7, and 8 have all disappeared from the last 2 months to now and all that stuff. With like one of the CP5 agents who came to investigate 2 months ago, talking about how they were just leave it and all that stuff when they got attacked by the Sea Beast weapons, and then were drove back here. And then other agents came in with similar cases when they came to look into the disappearances and all that stuff. And he apologized, and this agent apologizes to the one who they assumed that there was behind it, as none other than the original Stella, Dr. Vegapunk, who was apologizing to them, who seems to be bloodied and injured, saying that, at least around the head, saying, well, at least before, like the antenna bit of the heads, was he apologizes to them, having no idea that it was all this is what's happening inside him, with Egghead under his nose and all that stuff. But he realizes that this means trouble, and he thinks that this is probably explains quite a lot, one other thing as well, like how it shouldn't be possible for the world government to find out about the polyglyph research that he was doing on this island. Anyway, we also get a bit of a notification that apparently G9 base has apparently left for port, and apparently that leads the total fleet that's heading to Egghead from the Marines. This is a total of 100 ships. As you get a Marine going, roger that. Okay, it's interesting to note that for this bit here, let's see, we got confirmation that the government agents that the world government has sent have not been wiped out. They're not died off screen and all that stuff. They've actually been taken prisoner inside the Egghead thing. And the fact that Vegapunk is now, the original Vegapunk is now with them, which like fully 100% removes him from the spy, traitor, or evil one from the list and all that stuff, the saboteur, if you will. And let's see, clears him of any guilty thing, well, at least guilt in terms of like this sort of mystery, if you will, about what is going on in Egghead Island, if you will. As he's also a victim, and anyway, he has no idea what's going on, but it's clear that whoever is sabotaging them has been, let's see, undermining Vegapunk for the very least for at least the 2 months, as apparently also probably he or she has leaked the info that Vegapunk was researching the polyglyphs, because from the way it sounds, he was so airtight on his research on that the world government never suspected him until recently. So it's interesting to note that arguably by the time that the Straw Hats arrived in Wano, or just before, is that they began to suspect that Vegapunk was up to no good. And said agents that stuff, but yeah. But it's like it was all leaked. But yeah, it's kind of funny to imagine all that time, but yeah. Now, who on earth the Vegapunk is, I have no idea. Who the one who is sabotaging Vegapunk and locking in, no idea. Most people are probably suspecting Stella because of his own, like, while he might be the good, he's also the logic one. And he may be thinking logic of, like, how to make sure that Vegapunk gets out alive and all that stuff, or how to, let's see, Vegapunk continue his research in the polyglyphs, but then again, if he's leaking info and putting people in prison long before and using the sea beasts to attack, let's see, that laid some questions like, okay, is he truly good? Is he truly trying to get Vegapunk out? But who knows? But after all, his own life would be in danger from the world government, but that still remains to be seen. Granted, some think that it might be Lilith, but then that seems less likely, and she seems too obvious. Not to mention the care she showed for like the other Vegapunks, particularly Edison. The only other thing I can think of that might be it's like since it's 2 months, it can't be. Let's see, somehow like let's see, Five Elder Saturn, Karibu sabotaging, or maybe even the Blackbeard pirates, because they're all being probably busy doing other things, particularly like Shira the Brain. So it does lead to like it's got to be one of the Vegapunks as the mystery. Well, some people are cleared from like the suspects list. There's still a few remain, with Shaka being elected candidate, maybe also possibly Lilith second. But some are now beginning to suspect that Vegapunk's original brain may also become a sort of AI of its own, and is making a sort of conscience of its own thing, and is deliberately sabotaging the Vegapunks as it feels them, it seems them non-essential, perhaps maybe a threat for its own new artificial intelligent plan and all that stuff. But nevertheless, it remains a mystery for now. But yeah. Anyway, we then cut to on a certain island in the New World, in a bar along the coast and all that stuff. And you see a bunch of pirate ships, one particularly like Viking one, and I can't see one of them has a little polar bear on, which kind of reminds me of Beppo, though I am wondering if one of the ships looks familiar, though I could be wrong, but I will say it in a second. As like this kid is asking someone to take him with you, and then it's clearly a slur of Shanks. So yeah, Shanks people, that might be a ship out there, but but in a similar manner, he tells Luffy, this giant kid, that yeah, I'm not taking a hothead with me and all that stuff. When the kid gets annoyed and gets a bit upset, and the giant and all that stuff, with like this female bartender giant, and then asking the kid giant, when you're going to give up taking him out to sea and all that stuff, as he keeps asking, he's going to accept the other captains if they end up being favored. But the kid giant says he doesn't really care. He wants to sail with Shanks and all that stuff. But anyway, Rockstar ends up informing, let's see, Shanks that someone has actually attacked them and all that stuff. Telling him that all the youngsters are now squabbling against him and all that stuff, but wondering what they should do, as this is bound to turn into a full-on fight, if you will. With Shanks just finishing drinking while doing that, and then comments about how he can't tell a thing if this timing is the best or the worst, just when he's about to set sail. As we get a full stritzy look of Shanks, full back of him, really, as he's turning around. As he comments about how he spent too much time talking, but he feels like he can't be blamed for wanting to catch up with some old friends that he thought was dead for so long. With Ben Beckman talking about how the enemy must be furious. With them, let's see, I believe Lucky Roo. Let me just double check. It's been a while. Red hair. Pirates, but yeah, I think it's Lucky Roo, the first person to ever kill in One Piece. So granted, that is let's see, well, Lucky Rocks, but Lucky Roo rocks, if you will. Let's see, just teasing Beckman that let's see, that's Rich Cunningham famous. He should probably be mad. That's who you think else he would be mad at. But you got Yasop getting all excited there in the thing. As Shanks says, he's asking if they're fighting. Let's see. As he declares he won't let this island become a battleground. And you got the whole bartender go blushing, saying what a stud Shanks is. And Shanks ends up saying how he doesn't want a major harm to come to this place. So he asks none other than Dory and Brogy to come help him and all that stuff. As we see them fully, then to confirm they are here, with them saying, one of them saying, "Sure thing, brother," and all that stuff. With one of them also asking if he's going to, let's see, fight. Ba 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 ba, and ga 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 ga. And not only that, you also got Omi and Kashi behind them, as you got the full Redhead Pirates officers, the ones we all know, Lucky Root, Yasop, Lime Juice, Bonk Punch, Monster, Building Snake, Mongo, and Garb, all walking up the line ready to fight, alongside, of course, there's also Rockstar there. But yeah, so let's see, known members of the Redhead Pirates, plus the 4 members of the Giant Pirates, the Giant Warrior Pirates we know, all, let's see, ready to fight, as the description box says that this is Elbaf, the proud land of proud warriors. And you also got the little giant kid coming along with them, with Shanks, with a Rockstar asking Shanks before. Let's see, Shanks telling him before they leave he needs the Rockstar to go ask him something, which he's wondering what. He tells Rockstar to send a message, which I'm starting to think that Rockstar is just clearly just the messenger for the Redhead Pirates, telling them that says, asking whoever, let's see, which is clearly probably a kid at this point, saying, revealing this is probably Kid at this point, saying, giving Hack that Kid was heading to Elbaf, telling him the message to Kid saying is, "Do you want to fight me here and now, or leave your road Poneglyphs and flee? Make your choice." As Shanks is being serious about this, as we then cut to out the waters of like Elbaf. Apparently, a place called Warland, with one of, I think, Kid commenting, or at least one of the someone from the Kid Pirates commenting that like the ships along the shore and the ones lazing shooting on us all belong to pirate crews who are working for Redhead, which I think is actually Killer. Saying how each one of them is known and feared, as you got Kid's pirates all standing ready to fight. Kid seemingly attaching, or at least fitting the frog from his mechanical arm, as Killer reminds Kid that apparently last time he never even got a chance to see Redhead himself, and they got beaten to a pulp and lost their arm. No, with him laughing, but that's because of the smile fruit. And telling them how they probably won't stop at this, just an arm this time. As we cut to the Redhead Pirates, you got a male captain and I think a female captain, or at least a male pirate and a few female pirates, all coming around wanting to hug him. 2 of them hugging, one a male, one a female, and you've got a lot of cheering and coming towards him, including a few females, going all excited about Shanks and all that stuff. Some of the more senior officers, some people are trying to say to stay away from him, but others going it's a captain. With some of them just being dying to see him and all that stuff. Others saying they want to pay tribute to him, but I think either Shanks or Ben Beckman says they don't do that. With just Killer finishing his sentence about how they'll just, besides taking an arm, they'll put more than an arm, they'll probably take your life. Kid just laughs at this, thinking it's just funny, but he says that only if he loses. As you got a smiling, now granted, you might see him a bit sweating a bit, though he's also throbbing a bit, as Shanks is slowly walking in by just clearly ending the chapter. Okay, first of all, let's see. This for those who have made theories that that Elbaf would be Shanks' arc, particularly Mr. Moji, congratulations to him. Turns out you were right and all that stuff. As Shanks is on Elbaf, and not only that, he appears to be friends and admired by the locals of the Giants and all that stuff, including the new Giant Warrior, actually the Giant Warrior Pirates. So yeah, that's exciting. But before that, besides the ship designs, I really like the little polar bear one. Looks like Beppo. But the one thing I kind of like is the fact that it seems wherever Shanks goes, he's got. It seems like this bit here parallels what happened at the beginning of the One Piece journey, and it seems whenever Shanks goes, there's a young kid that wants to join his pirate crew and sail with him. Well, there's a young bartender telling to let's see, not cause Shanks too much trouble, and just smiling and enjoying Shanks' presence, even being charmed by him and all that stuff. So Shanks is a bit of a ladies' man from the looks of things. Of course, Shanks turning down the kid and all that stuff. So, yeah, who knows? This makes many people beg to wonder whether or not this kid will form his own pirate crew one day and challenge Shanks like the same way Luffy is. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Luffy and this kid ends up interacting, as Luffy thinks how he was this kid just only like 10 years ago. Granted, this giant kid will probably grow up in probably a lot more longer years. He's like a giant time like I spent 300. So yeah, there's that. But I do like how let's see, Rockstar just seems to be like the member of that just seems to be the messenger of Shanks' crew. Though granted, given the fact that kids' crewmates are all named after punk rock musicians, it's kind of shocking how Rockstar isn't a part of his crew. Well, that does lead to some theorizing the Davy Black fights. And who knows, maybe Rockstar will be forced. Maybe the redhead was to lose run round against the redheads. That he becomes a member of the crew and all that stuff by force. But it's also interesting that during this whole bar conversation thing, that it seems to imply that Ben Beckman actually is the one to shoot Kid's arm. As many people at first thought that, okay, it was probably Shanks that cut off the arm due to his sword play, but no. Somehow Ben Beckman has cut off the arm. Now, whether or not it was with his bullets or an actual sword he actually has, I don't know. But either way, it does lead to some speculation. So, yeah, and this goes to show you just how strong Ben Beckman is. I do like how Lucky Roux's just teasing him. And I do like how Yasop's just waiting to go for a fight. But yeah. I do like how Shanks is like, we don't really want to have harm to this fight and all that stuff. And I do like how he's continuing with his goal to get now go after the One Piece by just having Rockstar give a message to Kid. Either leave his Poneglyphs and flee, or he will suffer the consequences of staying and fighting him and all that stuff. But yeah. But yes, Omi and Dorian Brogy. Let's see. I think many people suspected Omi and Kashi to be here, but not to see. Dorian Brogy. As well, those two are the first giants, and they're supposed to be on Little Garden and all that stuff. And still apparently doing their fight until one of them wins. But now that seems to be that somehow being resolved, or they've put it on hold. And they've come back to Elbaf at long last. And not only that, but it turns out they're actually friends with Shanks. And it seems at the very least, much to probably Big Mom's fury, that after she failed to get Lola to marry Loki and ally the giants, Shanks has beat her to it, and now they're his allies, so she's furious. Well, that might be why some of the Yonko have yet to actually challenge Shanks directly to a fight, because he's allied with like arguably the mightiest army in the world. But you've got these two here, but not to mention Omi and Kashi, which means the Straw Hats won't just have. Let's see, Luffy. Won't just have a reunion with Omi and Kashi, and Luffy and Usopp with like Shanks and like Yasop in general, but also with these guys, which they'll probably be excited for. But also that particularly Usopp, and they're probably going to wonder, okay, what happened? Have you resolved the thing? So yeah, it is curious. Granted, the only thing now I'm curious about is whether or not the new giant warrior pirates will also be in there. And let's see how they will interact with like these two legends, since Hygerin never have met these two when he was training as a kid and all that stuff. So yeah. But I do like how all they're ready to go and help Shanks in the fight. But yeah. But anyway, it's interesting to know that let's see, all these let's see, the kid pirates are able to identify that all these ships are famous pirates, and that they're all the youngins ready to go against Shanks. But yeah, but it is interesting to also see these how much his followers respect him, wanting to hug him and shitty, go cheer for him and all that stuff. With some wanting to pay tribute, despite the fact that he doesn't do that. But yeah, but it just goes to show just how respected Shanks is amongst all these crews. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the ones that we've seen in the panel a bit, at least the two that are hugging Shanks, get their names in the following few chapters, if we're following up straight away after this fight, of course. But yeah, but it's interesting to learn that apparently, but yeah, it's confirmed that Kid did not actually meet Shanks in their first encounter, and that leads more to the implication that Ben Beckman took off his arm and all that stuff. With Killer warning Kid, if he's not careful, he'll just lose more than just an arm this time. He'll probably lose his life. But Kid just being completely either cocky, confident, foolish, whatever, or just trying to masquerade a bit of fear, he is seemingly confident. Though granted, some think he's sweating a bit. It's only if he loses. Hey guys, but he's clearly that he's come to he's here to pick a fight and he's not backing down. So yeah, Kid versus Shanks. I mean, there were some that predicted this fight might happen. I wasn't sure that was going to be the case, but it's clear that's going to happen. Let's see now whether or not we see it on screen or if it's going to happen straight away. I don't know. Remains to be seen. Granted, I've seen some people predict that it might be a Davy Black fight, but either way, Kid versus Shanks is finally happening. Now, if it's a full-on battle, given the fact that Shanks has his pirate fleet of, let's see, allied and subordinate crews, the allied giants and the new giant warrior pirates, and not to mention his own crew and all that stuff, against Kid's crew that's about 22, apparently. Yeah, let's see, in terms of just numbers and sheer might, let's see, Kid stands no chance. Now, whether or not he's foolish enough to fight them head on like that, though, I wouldn't be surprised if he does take out quite a few of the subordinate crews at the very least. Now, but granted, it'll be pretty one-sided, but then again, Kid probably has a few tricks up his sleeve besides his awakening, after what he should have Conqueror's Haki, or he might be planning something else, which many are guessing is the Davy Black fights. But either way, the fight is happening, and yeah, we're about to see probably a bit of a fight. Let's see, probably an epic fight of hers, or at least allude to one. Now, whether or not we will see it next chapter remains to be seen. I haven't looked at the spoilers, so I wouldn't know. But it'll be a bit of such a tease that Shanks and Kid are about to fight each other, only to cut back to Egghead. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, because Oda has done this before, much to my dismay in quite a few cases. But yeah, but I do hope that we at least see some of the fight, like we see some of Law versus Blackbeard. But yeah, but you've clearly got like these two really trying to steal each other's polyglyphs, or at least Shanks has after Kid's polyglyphs. No, we have to wait and see whether or not Shanks has the other missing polyglyph. But either way, yeah, the fight's happening, and hopefully, at the very least, Kid will put up a decent fight. I mean, many people like to say like, "Oh, Kid's way out of his league. Oh, he's weak and all that stuff," or weakest out of a new big shot to the last generation. But I think people still do sort of underestimate Kid as well. And I'm sure he'll probably put up a good fight. But yeah, overall, this chapter is pretty much just about near perfect, or just perfect. Except you got the funny interactions with Luffy and Rob Lucci about whether or not and also with Shaka and Kaku, like okay, I'm going to kill all the Vegapunks and I'm going to take revenge on Stussy, which I forgot to comment on earlier, but yeah, it's clearly still mad at Stussy, but yeah. And Kaku's be like, keep your turretsy, keep it down, don't tell him. And Zoro just being annoyed at Luffy's easy trusting nature and just shocked about Rob Lucci, just like, all right, Strahd, fine, I'll kill you first, kind of thing. But yeah, they team up and then moves against the Sephirim. I do like how S-Hawks confirmed to have the Dice fruit, like we predicted. The fact that the world government agents are trapped on the island along with the main Vegapunk. Let's see it here. And of course, the fact that the kid pirates are about to face the redhead pirates and Shanks, and it looks like he's finally making a move, and we'll probably, hopefully, see him properly fight, which many feel like. Which I'm starting to wonder if he might actually have the same fighting style as Gold Roger, but also the return of Dorian Broggy, which I'll admit, at first I was surprised because I thought they'd be on Little Garden still. But I suppose it does make sense that, okay, since they're going to Elbaf, we're going to now talk all the giants, and we might as well have the two main giants here. Kind of like I had Jinbei on Fisherman Island and all that stuff. But yeah. Again, you didn't have Elong on Fisherman Island, except maybe in a flashback, but yeah. But overall, this is like a 10 out of 10 chapter for me. It's it's about perfect, or just near perfect. The only thing I really complained about was like the double colored spread, but I can't really blame that on the context of the chapter. But overall, it's a lot of hype. Now, whether or not what will be shown and what next chapter remains to be seen, but for the moment, this chapter has buzzed the hype, especially for Shanks, as me excited to see him finally make a move. Let's see where it all leads. Who knows? But for now, I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. If you enjoyed listening or watching my Ritzy review, I hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.